Miss me? Probably not. I know it's been a while. Life got busy, people got busy, house got busy, lots of projects going on. Beard go a little bit longer. It's been a while. Jumping back into this, I decided to make something really small as kind of my opening video for this year to jump back in. And I decided that the small project, where it's kind of fun, I guess you could sell it, but it combines 3D printing, some vinyl decals on a Cricut, and I hope you have as much fun watching it as I did making it. Hey, welcome back, guys. Oh, here we go again with another piece of scrap wood. This is a simple piece of 1x6 I had hanging around. Let's see what we can come up with. So I realized for this project I was going to need a hinge, and I am all out of them. But since we last met, I've added 3 new 3D printers. So I went online, found a hinge that I like, and let's go ahead and print one up. So I found this one online on thingiverse.com. It is what they call a print-in-place hinge. Basically means I don't have to add any hardware. And it should be able to be used, and I can resize it and make it as big or small as I want. Work, my little worker bee, work! I was a little nervous about printing it upright like this, and it's 2 of them. But as you'll see in the next clip, they came out pretty well. Can't complain too much at all. Can't complain about the way they came out at all. Pretty sturdy. They seem pretty solid. A little stiff when you bend them, but I kind of expected that, and that's okay. Just a little tough to... Oh, wait. There we go. Cut it back. So yeah, these are all set, and next go to paint. Figured they look kind of silly if they looked all plasticky and gray. So on the white, I decided to go ahead and paint them black and use them that way. With the hinges in hand, let's go ahead and trim down this 1x6. We're going to square up an edge, and then we're going to cut in half to get 2 pieces, and we'll begin building our dishwasher magnet sign. So with 2 pieces in hand, they were looking a little blocky. Decided they needed some sort of decorative trimmer on the outside of them. I decided this one was a good way to go. Camera wasn't really focusing on the router bit, but let's go ahead and route them anyway. So here's my nice Bosch router. How do I open this thing? Wait. There's 2 handles, right? So that's one. There you go, Skippy. You got the other one. So with that in hand, I'm going to go ahead and plug this guy in, swap out the bits, and let's get to cleaning up those edges and making them look pretty. So I sped up this a bit, so wanted to make sure that you weren't sitting here looking at my router for the next 20 minutes. I looked at both sides, got the matching ends that I wanted, make sure that it looked all right, and then began routering. So I promise I'm not going as fast. This clip is sped up, and no fingers were harmed in the making of this routering. An important pro tip, make sure that you are going with the flow of the blade direction, so it doesn't skip all over the place on you and create all sorts of weirdness on the edge. And now on to my favorite task, sanding. Sped out this clip too, so you didn't have to watch me sand for 20 minutes. So let's take a minute and talk about the sponsor of this video, Milwaukee Tools. No, I'm just kidding, I don't have a sponsor, but anybody knows anybody that works in Milwaukee, let me know. If you haven't figured out what we're doing by now, I'm building a bookend sign that's going to go in the dishwasher. One side, when it's open, it's going to say clean. When it's closed, it's going to say dirty. And when you open and close it, it's going to need magnets and magnets to stick in the dishwasher. So that's what we're doing here, positioning where they're going to go. Now, I could have just glued them, but I decided I wanted to recess the magnets into the wood a little bit. So I'm using a bit here just to carve a little hole for where the magnets are, so it stops them from floating around while the glue dries. Obviously, I didn't place the camera in the right place, so stare at my wrist while I'm doing it. To hold the magnets down, I decided to use some JB Weld epoxy. It's a 2-part epoxy. You mix exact amounts of part A and part B. You stir it up, and you go ahead and apply. Says 5 minutes, but it realistically takes about 20 to dry. If you've ever used epoxy, you know that stuff gets on your hands. It's impossible to get off. So why not throw on some gloves? 1 part A, 1 part B, mix with some scrap wood, and go ahead and apply. Now a little dab in slot A, a little dab in slot B, and we should be good to go. And of course, you want to check the polarity of the magnets. You want to make sure that you're not putting the opposite ends so they're repelling each other, because that would be just the thing that I would do. And Shop Dog, I'm not coming in there. You're going to blame that smell on me. There are some 3D painting helpers that I have. They're just triangles that hold items up without making a mark so that you can paint or stain. I'm using an ebony stain here, and you'll see when we get to the finished part exactly why. So we're going to apply a black stain as an undercoating, and then we're going to paint the top white, and then through a sanding technique, it's going to give that cool kind of faded look to it. Hindsight being 2020, I probably should have gone with a black acrylic. This stain, oil-based, took forever to dry. Although you really can't see it from the video, I promise this is actually really black. I think it's the lighting in the shot made it look a little bit more brown than it is, but I do promise it is very, very dark. So while I was painting, I figured it was probably a good idea to paint the top of the screws black too. No one wants to see silver screws on anything. It would stand out and look really kind of silly. So this is one of 2 coats of heavy white paint that's going on. The reason for the 2 coats and the reason we got to be a little bit heavy is when I start to sand this, I want the black to come through, but I don't want such a light coat that the black comes through immediately. I want a little bit more control, and the thicker the coat of the white paint, the easier it is to control how much black comes through when we sand. I'm trying really hard to get around the magnets, but ultimately won't matter. Next, I'm going to print some vinyl decals using my Cricut Maker. I am upstairs in my office where I do all my video editing on my computer, where I'm sitting right now. The Cricut comes in really handy. Highly recommend one. If you don't have one, they're actually a lot of fun. So I decided on a print. The clean and dirty are going to go on either sides. The clean is in a specific font I liked. It's going to be in blue, and the dirty is kind of in a muddy black. Now at this point, the Cricut's cutting out the vinyl. It's making a very small cut against the vinyl without going through the backing, and then we've got to go to all the fun of weeding out what we don't want on the vinyl. So I decided to do this in the kitchen right next to a giant stash of cinnamon buns. As you see, I'm sitting down, I'm just about to get started, and then I see the cinnamon buns. I should wait until I'm done. I guess I'll get started. So when we weed, we're going to go ahead and take out anything that is in the negative space, leaving just the vinyl that we want behind. Cleaning out any letters, for example, the D and the R. Got to take out the vinyl in between. So I sped this part up. It really wasn't easy to weed out. I wish I had picked a fatter font. The little parts of the font kept coming up with the negative area. So at the end of the day, that's what I ended up with. Pay no attention to the sticky star sticking out on the top. This clean and dirty. And now it's time to go ahead and get back to the wood. And let's start painting and seeing what we can get to come out the other end. So here I'm using 220 sandpaper on a really cool sanding disc I got. It's Velcro. Takes the same sanding disc as my sander does. And I did speed this up a little bit. We're kind of going with like a dirty fence post kind of look here. So we're sanding off and being very careful to only take off what we want, leaving just enough behind to give the effect that we want. So here we are with the desired output we wanted. You're going to have to forgive me. I actually forgot to record putting on the decals and the hinges. So let's just skip over to what it looks like at the end. And here we have it. The hinges are on. The magnets are holding it to the dishwasher. The hinges are right in the middle. And as you'll see in the moment, it flips open and closed. That's the open. And when it flips closed, you'll see the dirty on the other side. You'll have to forgive me. The magnets are strong, but not strong enough to completely stick. So I had to actually go in and add a few more magnets, making it a little bit stronger. But there's. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and come back for more this year.